What if I told you there's an online banking platform with no monthly fees and free domestic and international USD wire? You can apply in just 10 minutes and even get a credit card without touching your personal credit. I just opened a new business checking account with Mercury, and here's what really went down. Spoiler alert, it wasn't anything like you'd expect. But before I dive in, quick disclaimer, this isn't financial advice, just my honest experience as an entrepreneur looking for better banking tools. Your situation might be different, so always do your own research before making any financial decisions for your business. Also, Mercury is not technically a bank. Banking services are provided through Mercury's FDIC insured partner bank. All right, let's get into it. Mercury has no monthly fees. Now, if you're coming from a traditional business bank like Chase or Bank of America, where they're charging $15 to $30 a month in fees just to have an account, then Mercury's no required monthly fees setup feels like you just won the lottery. And here's the thing, most traditional business banking providers are still operating like it's 2005. Long approval times, physical branch visits, and paperwork that feels like you're applying to a mortgage just to open up a checking account. But with Mercury, it's built for the modern entrepreneur. As it's a fintech platform that partners with FDIC insured banks, that means your money is still protected, but the experience is more flexible, more digital, and designed around entrepreneurs that value their time. But what really caught my eye is that Mercury claims you can get a business credit card without any impact on your personal credit. No hard pulls, just swipe and go. Now, if you've been in business for a minute, you know how precious your personal credit score is. And so every time you apply for a business credit card with many of the traditional providers, they're hitting your personal credit. But it really shouldn't be that way. And Mercury says they provide a solution. So naturally, I had some questions. Will they check my personal credit? And will I get approved if my credit is locked or frozen? As I'm going through the website and looking at some reviews, so far it does look like they don't even need a credit check. I'll definitely keep y'all updated on that, because if true, that can mean a huge shift in the business credit industry. Now let's talk about the application process, because this is where Mercury started flexing its fintech muscles. They asked for my business address, physical address, home address, all of them. Mercury is serious about knowing exactly where you are. No shady business is allowed. And I appreciate that, because when you're trusting a platform with your business finances, you want them to be thorough. And you want them to take security seriously so that they're not accidentally onboarding someone who's running a sketchy operation. In the midst of the application, they did ask for my ID verification. And this is where I realized Mercury is not messing around. Unlike other online banks I've used where you upload a photo of your driver's license, Mercury required 2 forms of ID, including a facial scan. Yep, they needed to see my face, not in a smile for the camera way, but a prove you're a real human and not a bot trying to commit fraud kind of way. Kind of intense, but honestly, I respect it. Identity theft is real, fraud is real, and if a few extra steps during the sign up mean my business account is more secure down the line, then I'm all for it. Next, we had the facial recognition process, which took maybe 30 seconds. They walk you through it step by step. Turn your head left, turn your head right, look at the camera. Pretty standard stuff if you've ever used any modern know your customer verification. It felt a little futuristic, but also reassuring that they're using the latest tech to keep bad actors away. Once the paperwork was done, they recommended I make a deposit right away. And honestly, I think this is actually a smart move on their part. They want to know that you're serious about your business from day one. Most banks let you open an account and then it just sits there empty for weeks while you procrastinate on funding it. But Mercury's approach gets you into action mode immediately. It shows you're committed and ready to actually use the account, not just opening it to collect dust. And so I didn't have a problem with this at all, but it is worth knowing up front. You can link an external bank account or wire money in. For me, I did an ACH transfer from my personal account. It took about 2 business days to clear and the process was smooth. Right after I set up the initial deposit, before it even cleared, they offered me the business credit card. Now normally I'd pause, think it through, check maybe a few more Reddit threads and sleep on it. But because it clearly stated no impact to my personal credit, I hit accept. Then I read the fine print, and here's where things get interesting. Mercury's business card starts with daily repayment for most US-based businesses, and you can qualify for it on the first day. In other words, it acts like a fancy debit card with perks. Every day, your expenses are pulled straight from your business's checking account. So if you buy something for $500 today, make sure you've got $500 today, not tomorrow, in your business checking account. At first, I thought, wait, isn't that just a debit card? But here's the key difference. You still get credit card perks like cash back, purchase protection, fraud protection, and better expense tracking without the risk of carrying a balance or paying interest. And most importantly, without affecting your personal credit. So yeah, it's like a debit card in function, but a credit card in benefits. You get the benefits of both. And for someone like me who wants to keep business and personal finances completely separate, this setup is actually perfect. The daily payment structure also forces you to stay disciplined with your cash flow. You can't overspend and you can't rack up debt. You should have the money in your account before you swipe. For some people, that's a pro. For others, it might feel restrictive. Personally, I see it as a huge benefit, as I get to build business credit without negatively affecting my personal credit. But here's the good news. Once you reach a total Mercury balance of $15,000, you can qualify qualify for higher credit limits and choose between monthly or daily repayments. So if you're growing your business and building up your balance with Mercury, you're not stuck with daily payments forever. You can graduate to monthly payments, just like a traditional credit card. And so opening up an account with Mercury is well worth it in my opinion, because it helps you keep your personal credit safe while building your business credit profile, which is a very rare combo. And if you're bootstrapping or recovering from credit issues or just trying to keep things clean, this is perfect. Once the setup was complete, they prompted me to enable two-factor authentication and set up mobile alert. This wasn't buried in settings or optional. They guided me through it as part of the onboarding flow. I got push notifications set up for every transaction over $100, alerts for logins from new devices, and confirmation codes sent via text for sensitive actions. It was smooth, quick, and secure. It felt like they actually wanted me to protect my account, not just check a compliance box. And that matters, because when you're running a business, the last thing you need is someone draining your account while you're focused on, actually building the business. So let me break down some things I really like about Mercury, just so you have a complete picture. And so Mercury has no monthly fees, zero, zilch, nada, whereas most traditional business accounts charge anywhere from $10 to $30 a month just for the privilege of banking with them, whereas Mercury is free. In addition, they have no minimum deposit. You don't need $5,000 sitting idle just to avoid fees. You can start with whatever you have. They also offer unlimited USD transactions where you can send and receive payments as much as you want, no caps, and no transaction limits. In addition, they don't charge overdraft fees. If you try to spend money you don't have, Mercury just declines the transaction. Simple. No $35 penalty for being $2 short. In addition, they offer international wires in USD for free. And so if you're working with contractors overseas, paying vendors in other countries, or just operating globally, this is huge. Traditional banks will typically charge $15 to $50 per wire transfer, whereas Mercury is completely free. They also have advanced tools like API access, custom spending rules, and even Slack integrations for payment approvals. So if you're running a team, you can literally approve expenses without leaving your Slack workplace. That's next level efficiency. The dashboards are beautiful. You can see spending by category and income versus expenses, all visualized in real time. Perfect for data-driven founders who want to see where their money's going, not just read it from a spreadsheet. Plus, it integrates seamlessly with accounting software like QuickBooks, Xero, and NetSuite. So if you've got a bookkeeper or you're doing your own accounting, everything syncs automatically. No manual imports, just clean, automated data. Plus, you also get up to $5 million in FDIC insurance via their partner bank sweep networks. So even though Mercury itself isn't a bank, your money is protected by multiple FDIC insured banks. You can also get physical cards for your team and virtual cards for online purchases or subscription. Virtual cards are clutch if you want to limit spending or avoid sharing your main card number. And what's great is that this platform is built for startups and growing tech companies. If you're scaling, hiring globally, or need real-time financial data, Mercury just makes sense. But let's be real, no platform is perfect. Here are some of the cons. You cannot deposit cash. So if you run a cash-heavy business like a retail store, a food truck, or anything that deals with physical money, Mercury isn't for you, as there's no way to deposit cash into your account. They're not part of a fee-free ATM network, so if you need to withdraw cash regularly, you'll get hit with ATM fees, which is not ideal if you're constantly pulling money out to pay expenses. In addition, Mercury might be a bit too advanced for simple businesses. And so if you're a freelancer with minimal transactions and no need for fancy dashboards or integrations, a simpler platform might be enough. That's pretty much it for the cons. One more benefit that I didn't get a chance to mention just yet is that Mercury is great for non-US residents, as they can apply for a business account as long as their business is registered in the US, has US operations, and a legitimate business address. This opens the door for international entrepreneurs, digital nomads, and anyone operating a US-based business from abroad. And even better, Mercury isn't just for business anymore. They now offer personal accounts with a joint account and unlimited USD wires. And so it really does feel that Mercury is building for the complete entrepreneur on both a personal and business level, which means you can run your entire financial life through Mercury if you wanted, which is pretty compelling, especially if you're working on simplifying. And I would honestly say that I think it's one of the most advanced online business banking platforms that I've used. From automation and accounting integrations to real-time approvals, top-tiered interest rates, and global payment tools, it's clearly made for fast-moving, data-driven businesses. But no account is perfect. And so if you need to deposit cash or you're running a local cash-only business, I do recommend that you look elsewhere. But if you're digital first, scaling, working with remote teams, or just want a banking experience that feels like 2026 and not 2005, Mercury might just be your best bet. In addition to the fact that I can get a business credit card without touching my personal credit. That alone is worth me getting the account. And so while I'm still exploring the platform, I can do follow-up videos if you let me know in the comments below. And if you decide that Mercury is right for you, I do recommend that you click the link in the description below and get an account set up. There might just be a special bonus waiting for you. If you want more reviews and step-by-step guidance, make sure you hit that like button. Thank you so much for watching, and I cannot wait to see you in the next one. Peace, stay building.